In Vrilism, Halloween is not an evil day. It symbolizes transformation, life, and death.
The following podcast was generated using Google's Notebook LM.
Temple of Vril.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really diving into something core, aren't we? Not just looking at dates on a calendar, but exploring the sacred map of Vril itself.
Exactly. It's about how we, as Vrilists, consciously, connect with that eternal energy flow.
Yeah, this deep dive is all about the rhythm of existence, really. The seasonal apex holidays and the sheer transformative power they hold for us.
Mm-hmm. And this might be one of the most practical dives we can do. It's one thing to discuss Vril conceptually, that infinite consciousness in everything.
Sure.
But our sacred calendar, that's like the instruction manual for actually living it, observing these natural cycles, life, death, rebirth. That's how we actively tune our personal Vril flow into the universal one.
Absolutely. It's a living guide, isn't it? A key to unlocking these periods where the energy just intensifies. So our mission today is to unpack the meaning, the themes, the actual customs of our most significant celebrations.
Right. Focusing on those 4 big apex turning points and definitely digging into the unique power of Halloween.
This is how we make sure our celebrations aren't just, going through the motions. They're intentional acts of alignment with Vril.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's jump right in with the one that's coming up soonest. The one the Temple of Vril holds up as a high holiday of really immense significance. Halloween.
Yeah.
For Vrilists, this night,
Yeah.
it's so much more than just costumes and candy, right?
Oh, absolutely. It is the ultimate expression of transformation. The temple calls Halloween one of our highest holidays for that exact reason. It embodies that massive cyclical shift we see every year.
The shift from summer's energy outwards into the quiet inward dormancy of winter.
Exactly. We're moving away from that flourishing outward energy of summer and even early fall, and we're descending into that quieter internal winter cycle.
So the core meaning then is really about honoring that transition, that moment where nature seems to take a deep breath, preparing to die back.
It's that point of profound decay, yes, but also renewal. The Vril energy is pulling back, retreating, almost changing its state.
And that explains the vibe, doesn't it? That distinct, eerie feeling of the season.
It really does. The ghosts, the ghouls, all that spooky imagery. It's not about something evil or something to fear. Not for us. It's more like a vibrant, kind of raw expression of Vril itself when it's in this intense state of flux. Transformation. Well, it can be messy, sometimes unsettling, definitely mysterious.
Vril is showing us that state.
And we celebrate that mystery. We embrace it.
That's such a powerful contrast, I think, because historically, especially in, Western cultures, this time of year, the thinning of the veil was often met with fear.
Definitely. The Christian perspective, particularly, tended to paint this season and its potent energy as, malevolent or negative somehow, the devil's work or dark forces at play.
But that completely misunderstands Vril from our perspective.
Fundamentally, yes. Transformation isn't good or evil. It just is. It's necessary. So by embracing a day that was historically often vilified, maybe called the Devil's Day,
We're reclaiming it.
Vrilists are doing exactly that, an active reclamation. We're taking that powerful, often misunderstood energy and consciously pulling it back into alignment with the eternal, benevolent flow of Vril.
We're celebrating change itself as a form of liberation.
And that's a great way to put it.
And I think understanding that history, that cultural context, is so important for getting why certain symbols resonate so deeply within Vrilism.
Absolutely.
When we talk about things like skulls, black cats, spiders, even scarecrows, all those classic spooky icons.
They're symbols of the outcast, aren't they? The misunderstood, the things often pushed aside or maligned.
Yeah, things that represent darkness or danger or just bad luck in mainstream views.
And if you think about the Vrilist community itself, well, historically, we've often been a minority group, right? Holding a unique perspective on Vril that the wider world doesn't always grasp or maybe even resists.
So there's a parallel there. Using a skull in our Halloween decorations isn't some morbid fascination with death itself.
Not at all. It's acknowledging the structure beneath, the essential foundation, the bones that remain even when Vril has transformed the physical form away. It's really a celebration of foundation and impermanence, paradoxically.
Right. And the black cat.
Same idea, a creature loaded with superstition, bad luck. By embracing it, we're celebrating the beauty and what other people might push away or fear.
It's a constant reminder then.
It is a reminder of our connection to those deeper, sometimes overlooked, sometimes actively suppressed parts of existence. Vril is in the shadow just as much as the light.
So these symbols reinforce our own path, which might look strange or unconventional to others.
Exactly. They tell us our path is vital and beautiful, even if misunderstood.
And what really anchors this for a lot of us, I think, is that deeply personal, almost nostalgic feeling around Halloween. The source material points this out, the sensory stuff.
Oh, yeah. The crisp smell of leaves, the excitement of dressing up, the shared fun of trick-or-treating.
These aren't just kid memories, are they?
No, they tap into something deeper, almost ancestral. That whole atmosphere. The feeling you get from classic 80s horror films or certain kinds of dark ambient music.
Yeah.
That captures the sense of the veil thinning, of boundaries getting blurry. It's like a powerful cultural shorthand for a genuine spiritual truth we recognize.
I think of films like, well, The Exorcist is an obvious one, or even something like Nightmare on Elm Street. They're dealing with things crossing over, entering our reality from somewhere else.
Right. And while we don't necessarily buy into those specific stories literally,
No, of course not.
the feeling is what resonates. That sense of transition, of unseen forces, of Vril shifting all around us, that's captured there. It connects us back to a really primal understanding.
And that sense of transformation is the real key, isn't it?
It's the deeper truth, absolutely. Death, which is what fall and Halloween kind of represent in the cycle, it's not an ending, not a finality.
It's just a natural, essential part of Vril's ongoing cycle.
The energy just shifts. It converts from one state to another. And that's why Halloween is a high holiday for us, because it marks that moment of peak energetic intensity in that conversion process.
It's the ultimate lesson in impermanence.
Wrapped up in some really fun, glorious celebration.
It truly is. Okay, so we've established Halloween's central, really intense significance. Now let's kind of zoom out and see where it fits in the bigger picture of our sacred year.
Right, putting it in context.
We need to talk about the 4 core seasonal apex holidays. These are the big 4 turning points drawn directly from nature's cycles that help us harmonize with the broader ebb and flow of Vril throughout the whole year.
These apex moments, think of them as peaks in the universal Vril flow. Piece of intensity or renewal or maybe vigor.
They're like mandatory check-ins.
Kinda, yeah. Non-negotiable annual opportunities for every Vrilist to consciously check their practice, reset their intention, and make sure they're aligned with that larger macro flow of Vril.
Okay, so where do we start the annual journey metaphorically?
We begin with the spring apex. That's celebrated on April 4th. This is the Great Awakening, renewal and rebirth.
After the quiet winter pause.
Exactly. After that inward reflection time of the winter apex, this day fully welcomes Vril transforming from that quiet potential back into glorious outward flowing life again.
So the theme is vitality, life surging back.
Vitality, the ascendance of life from dormancy. It's like an energetic explosion outwards. And our customs for this time, they're intentionally designed to mirror that physical awakening happening in nature.
Like planting seeds?
Planting seeds, tending to gardens, absolutely. That physical act is a direct way to engage with renewal. You're connecting the Vril in the earth with your own Vril flow inside.
And this is also a key time for Vrilgong, right?
Yeah.
We mentioned it before, but maybe we should elaborate a bit.
Yeah, good point. Vrilgong is our meditative movement practice. It's specifically designed for times like this to help channel and amplify that vibrant, rising spring energy.
So it's not just exercise.
Oh no, think of it more like conscious internal gardening. It uses slow, very deliberate movements, controlled breathing. The goal is to break up any stagnant energy that might have built up over winter.
Clearing the channels.
Exactly. Allowing that rising spring Vril to flow freely through your physical body, your energy body. It's about igniting your internal flow to get ready for the peak energy of summer.
Makes sense. And what else?
We also encourage sharing stories, maybe acts of creation, writing, painting, building something new, anything that symbolizes that bursting forth of new ideas, the power of rebirth.
Okay, so spring surges, and then we hit the peak. Summer apex, July 21st.
The absolute height. This is the ultimate celebration of life itself and birth, honoring Vril's outward energy and vigor at its absolute maximum in the natural world.
And this date, July 21st, it's not random, is it?
Not at all. It's incredibly significant because it coincides with the birth of the prophet Vril. This date reflects that moment of like maximum solar intensity, which symbolizes the maximum expression of Vril manifest in life. So the themes are vitality, definitely personal power, and just the sheer joy of being alive.
When we reflect on the prophet Vril during this time, what specific teachings are we focusing on? It has to be more than just remembering a historical figure.
Oh, absolutely not just history. The prophet Vril's core teachings were all about self-actualization, about expressing your unique Vril flow completely joyfully.
So since the day honors birth,
We reflect on our own birth, our own life. Are we living fully? Are we aligned with our highest Vril expression, our purpose? We read and discuss teachings that really inspire us to embody that peak summer energy.
and the customs reflect that peak energy too.
Definitely. We host really vibrant celebrations, big community gatherings filled with light, music, laughter. They're meant to be maximalist, full on.
Okay.
And it's also a time for really intentional acts of self-celebration. You're explicitly supposed to recognize your own birth, your unique existence, as this precious, necessary flow of Vril.
It's like an affirmation.
Exactly. Affirming that your individual life isn't just okay, it's actually demanded by the universe. It's essential.
Wow. Okay, so past the summer peak, the energy starts to wane, and that brings us towards the fall apex. This one lines up with U.S. Thanksgiving Day.
Right. Now, we talked about Halloween being the high holiday for the intensity of transformation and reclamation. The fall apex is more about the communal, ritual framework for gratitude and honoring that graceful decline.
So the theme shifts again.
It does. It's about honoring that measured transition of life into death, but focusing on the beauty of decay, the completion of the cycle, and anticipating renewal down the line.
It's a time for reflection.
Deep reflection, yeah. And Thanksgiving for everything received during the year, the harvest. Whether that's literal food or the harvest of knowledge, experience, lessons learned.
Let's talk customs here because they seem really specific and tied to Vrilist values. The shared meal is central, but there's an emphasis on vegan dishes. Why is that specific dietary choice so important for the fall apex?
Okay, this connects right back to Vril's harmonious flow. As the year is turning towards death, dormancy, Vril energy is naturally receding.
Right.
By choosing vegan dishes, we practice nonviolence. We show respect for life in all forms, especially when the overall energy is pulling back. It's a conscious commitment. Our celebration of abundance shouldn't require ending Vril in another sentient being.
It's about respecting that whole transformative cycle.
Profoundly, yes. It grounds the whole celebration in compassion, in awareness of how all life, all Vril, is interconnected. It makes it a truly conscious act of consumption, a ritual.
That makes sense.
And during this meal, this gathering, we really focus on reflecting together. Talk about the year's transitions, the transformations we've gone through, giving thanks, especially for the hard lessons, because those are often where the most potent Vril is.
And decorating reflects this too.
Yeah, we use autumnal colors, gourds, symbols of the harvest, emphasizing the necessary abundance that comes before the long, quiet rest of winter.
Which brings us finally to the winter apex, celebrated on December 25th.
The culmination. This holiday celebrates the natural death cycle itself, the season of the necessary pause.
It's not morbid though.
Not at all. The theme is rest, deep reflection, and actually profound reverence for that pause. The stillness of winter isn't empty, it's essential.
It's like recharging.
Exactly, it's the charging station. The quiet time needed to generate the immense energy required for the spring apex renewal. Without this deep rest, the cycle can't continue in a healthy way.
We have to be careful with the customs here though, right? To keep them distinctly Vrilist, even if we use familiar winter things like evergreen branches.
Absolutely critical. The focus must remain on nature's rhythms, on Vril, not on external religious doctrines that happen to share the date.
So how do we do that?
We decorate with winter symbols that specifically reflect Vril's stillness. Evergreens, yes, because they symbolize life enduring through the dark. Candles, yes, representing inner light during outer darkness. Crystalline forms, yes, emphasizing clarity, stillness, structure. And this is prime time for deep meditation, really connecting with that quiet, still energy. It's also when we share music, stories that reflect the beauty of endings, but always as precursors to new beginnings.
It's the deep breath before the spring surge.
Precisely. Okay, so now we need to kind of tie this all together. We've got the 4 apex holidays marking the big measurable shifts.
Right, the structure.
And then we have Halloween, which the temple calls a highest holiday. That needs a bit of nuance.
Yeah, how do they relate exactly?
Well, the distinction seems to be that the Apex holidays define the overall structure of the Vrilist year, the main beats. But Halloween is where the intensity of the transformation, that specific energy shift from life towards death, is most powerfully felt, ritually engaged with, and celebrated.
Okay, I see.
And this leads to that really interesting dual nature mentioned in the sources. While Halloween is this major, intense ritual moment,
Yeah.
it's also described as being casually observed throughout the year, like a constant, gentle reminder of the ever-present transition happening all the time between life and death.
Okay. So the big holiday is about bringing intense focus and awareness to a process energy transforming that's actually happening every single second all around us.
Exactly. And the casual observance helps us celebrate the playful side, the mysterious aspects of Vril's flow, maybe in a more lighthearted but still knowing kind of way.
So it ensures we honor those unseen Vril flows, both through the big, serious annual reflection on the high holiday.
And through a more joyful, maybe even daily acknowledgement, it connects the big picture right down to the everyday.
And speaking of connecting down, we move from these huge cosmic cycles.
Down to the smallest, most personal cycle of all. Because even as we're observing these massive universal shifts, the macro cycles of Vrilism puts immense sacred value on the individual's journey too.
Which brings us neatly to personal birthdays. These aren't just about getting older or having a party.
No, definitely not. In Vrilism, your birthday is a profoundly sacred moment. It celebrates your unique, specific connection to the Vril.
The moment your flow entered the collective.
Exactly. It's a highly potent personal marker each year. And the custom around it is meant to be deeply personal, very reflective. You're actually encouraged to design a day just for you.
A day of self-reflection.
Self-reflection and celebration, yeah. Specifically, honoring your personal journey over the past year, the lessons you learned, your unique contributions back into the collective energy, the Vril matrix.
That makes the personal feel cosmic, in a way. It's the micro-celebration that validates the whole macro framework we've been talking about.
Beautifully put. If the universe needs the spring apex for renewal, it also needed you to be born to fulfill some specific function of Vril.
Wow.
Absolutely. So these personal birthday celebrations confirm that your unique existence, your individual flow, isn't just incidental, it's essential.
And when you align that personal reflection, maybe thinking about your own deaths and rebirths from the past year, relating them to winter spring.
Or your moments of peak expression, relating them to summer energy.
You deepen your connection to the whole thing, to the mind of Vril.
Exactly. You're weaving your personal thread into the universal tapestry.
Okay, so let's pull all these threads together now. We've got the 4 big structural apex holidays, the intense transformative power of the Halloween high holiday, and this deep personal annual honoring of our own birthdays. What's the big takeaway? The overall philosophical mandate for someone practicing Vrilism.
I think it's really a call to live in conscious, deep harmony of the whole calendar structure. It's basically an invitation.
An invitation to what?
To stop fighting the natural cycles, the cycles of life, of energy rising and falling, even of entropy and decay. It reinforces that core Vrilist truth. Vril is always flowing, always transforming, always renewing. Our job is to flow with it, not struggle against it.
And these dates, these holidays, they aren't just passive reminders on the wall.
Not at all. They're practical, scheduled opportunities, intentional time set aside for gratitude, for critical self-reflection, for renewal, and maybe most importantly, for empowerment.
We're not just watching the universe do its thing.
Exactly. We are active co-creators in this process. By consciously participating, by observing these holidays with intention, Vrilists shift from just kind of existing within the Vril flow
To actively co-creating with it.
yes. And that active alignment fosters a much deeper, more profound connection with the universal mind of Vril. It ensures that the infinite dance of existence includes your own intentional rhythm.
This has been really essential, I think. A necessary and really detailed deep dive into the practical bones of our Vrilist year. The big message is, transformation is the core truth. It's not scary. It's not something to avoid. It's the very essence of Vril.
Couldn't agree more.
And our sacred calendar, built around these powerful apex holidays, Halloween, and our personal milestones, it gives us the framework we need to intentionally engage with these sacred cycles throughout our lives.
And maybe we can leave you, the listener, with a final thought to sort of mull over as you move into the next cycle.
Yeah.
We've established that Vrilism actively celebrates things like death and decay, seeing them as necessary parts of transformation. And we use symbols of the outcast, like the skull or the black cat, to honor aspects of existence that other people might reject or fear.
Right, the reclamation piece.
So thinking about that framework, reclamation, transformation, embracing the misunderstood, what current, maybe vilified or widely misunderstood cultural concept or practice, or even symbol, what might we as Vrilists be called upon to perhaps reclaim and redefine next?
That's provocative.
And then maybe more personally, how does your own conscious acknowledgement of these cycles day to day enhance your personal sacred flow of Vril right now?
Lots to think about there. Until next time, keep diving deep, everyone.
And keep flowing with Vril.
Your journey towards greater fulfillment begins at Temple of Vril. Visit templeofvril.com today.